Could what's inside this box change the way you charge? Let's check it out. Okay, so what is this mysterious black box? Well, essentially, it is a USB charger that will charge all of the things. It will also have the capability to hook up a LiPo charger to it to be able to charge from one of your Toolkit RC or isdt chargers. If you use a converter that goes from the XT60 input on the back of your charger to this guy with USB port, any of the 4 USB ports on here, 3 Cs and 1 standard USB port. It also has a magnetic wireless charging port on the very top of it. So that's interesting. Your phone will kind of stick down to it, is updatable, and it connects to the app, so you can see real-time charging on your USB devices, how long you have, what the current voltage is, and it also has internal voltage detection, so that when you plug something in that you're not familiar with, that it will reduce the voltage when you plug it in so that it doesn't fry the device. Other tower of powers, as I call them, out there that have say like 6 or 8 different USB ports, a lot of them have labels on them that say Android device, Apple device, iPad, and so on, because they have different voltage levels. And sometimes if you plug in something to the wrong port on a tower of power, you can essentially fry a phone. And people have done that in the past with different types of charging devices if you plug it into the wrong thing. So this is kind of important, that this is a smart charger and it automatically sees the device and it knows what to charge it at without overvolting the device. This is a very nice and actually kind of a complex little device. And I have been testing it this week. It works great with my MacBook. I can plug my MacBook into it, and without having to use my traditional charger that comes with it, I can set this on the desk and just run a cable over to my laptop, which is nice. I don't have to have the big power brick sitting on the floor, and it gets super hot, by the way. This weighs about 430 grams, and it also has internal temperature control, so it knows if it's overheating, it'll cut back and stop a lot of the heavy charging. And it's literally about the same size as my my power brick for my MacBook Pro, which is super cool. So it has 3 USB ports that are 65 watt apiece, and it has that traditional USB port on there that's 24 watt for the max output for each port. Now inside the box you do get the Power 200 manual, which is cool. It gives you all the specs and the link over to the app that works with the isdt Power 200. This is the unit itself, which is looking, again, pretty cool. It's basically a black box. It has 100 and 240 volt AC in right here on the back. And also it has kind of a silent fan on here, which is good, because I was talking about the MacBook Pro power brick. The problem with that is it has no internal fan, so it gets super hot. Like I've had it like laying on the bed before, and it overheats really quickly, and that's a problem with the MacBook chargers. Even the most recent ones in 2022 are a problem. So if they had a built-in fan, that would be great. It's nice that this one does have a built-in fan, and it has ventilation on the side, this side. So 3 areas of ventilation, and on the top, this pad right here is rubber, but it also is magnetic, which is a nice thing. And it also has an HD display right here along this side that shows you each port when you plug things in. Now, when you connect it to the app through Bluetooth, you can turn the sound on and off. It has an audible beep on it for me, which is kind of annoying. I learned really quickly this week that using this next to the bed annoyed Rebecca. When I plug something in or set my phone on top of this, it made a beep, kind of like what you just heard in the background, just a beep. And she's like, "This is not going to do that all night long, is it?" And I'm like, no. And so I opened up the app and I turned off the sound. So you can turn off the sound, but it's interesting. It just kind of lets you know that, hey, something's charging. So there is the first port, 24, 65, 65, 65 for USB-C, 3 ports there, and an A port there. So now I have the AC cable plugged into the power port back there. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it into my power strip and show you how it loads up. And you can hear the fan at first, but once it starts up, then the fan turns off and it's pretty much silent for the rest of the use, which is great. So it's not going to sit next to your bed and have an annoying fan in your ear all night, unless that's something that you're looking for. You like to hear fan noise when you're sleeping. Some people do, but I particularly like it nice and quiet when I go to sleep. So this is quiet next to the bed. Now there are, like I mentioned, independent powered ports on here. So if I want to charge the iPhone, this screen will show me that something is charging and from which specific port. So once I plug something in, it turns color there, and you can see it's 0 watt right now, and that's what it's outputting. When I plug in the phone here, you will see that that changes, and it shows me my current wattage output there on the PD protocol. So 4.2, 0.2, all the way up to 6 watt. Now it's kind of picking up as it takes off. So now we're all the way up to 5.2 watt, which is pretty cool. So that's changing over time, and it's actually a smart charger as well. So it's not going to ruin the battery that you're charging. It's kind of like an eco charge, so that it knows while it's charging how not to damage the battery. So that's super important. So when you do a quick charge, you want to make sure that you're not over volting, putting too many watts and amps into the battery that you're charging. So that's super important, that it's going to give you a quick charge, but it's also going to save the battery in the long run. And we can also use the USB port here. And once you see me plug that in, you'll see that also in a different color. So I like the different colors for the different ports. So every new cable that you plug in, it's going to give you a different color, and it's also going to show you the output on the screen as well. And again, like, what really sets this apart from other dummy USB chargers or just plugging something into a wall outlet is the fact that it does have firmware on this, and it's updatable, which in the future is going to be cool because they're going to bring new features to it as well. So it's kind of future proof in the next couple of years for this particular device. I like the magnetic feature as well, but the app is really easy to use. It's isdt link, and it connects with Bluetooth, so it's going to look for your device. And the cool thing about this is, if you have a pretty large shop and you wanted to buy like multiples of these, say you had like 4 or 5 of these, you can add isdt link different devices to this. If you're expanding on this later, this app will allow you to control all the devices from one app, not just per device. So you don't have to have a million apps for each different device, which is kind of cool. So it shows me my firmware. Once I go here, if I click on that, it's automatically connecting. It shows me that I'm running version 1.6.119. It shows me what's plugged in currently, so you can see there that these 2 devices, these 2 ports are being actively used, and it's using a total wattage of 7.9 there, and in fluctuation because it doesn't want to damage the internal battery. So it's kind of monitoring that and the temperature as it's charging. So it's still doing a quick charge on my iPhone also, which I really love. So that's going to speed up that process. But this button right here, this toggle switch, you can hear it turn on. And once you plug things in, this time it will give you an audible beep to let you know, hey, I'm charging the device. But if you have a wife or girlfriend, sweet that you can turn that option off. So that's really cool. So it also starts as a slow charge and works its way up into a full quick charge. So it doesn't start off just kind of hammering your battery with tons of voltage. So I've noticed that it slowly builds up into the charge, into a full quick charge. So if you want to charge a LiPo from this power bank, you can do that. You can plug in a converter from USB to a USB 60. They do make these cables. I'll put a link down below. If you already have one of the Toolkit RC chargers or one of the isdt chargers that does not have a rear AC power input, you can come off of this with an XT60 and power it straight from this power bank. If you wanted to use this as a desktop charger, or even if you wanted to use this power bank in the field and just have more options, you can also plug this into, say, like an external power station. If you're on the road or you're camping and you wanted to expand your charging capabilities while you're driving or on the road, you can also do that to charge your kids' devices or whatever. So I think it's pretty cool. It is under $100, and it has a lot of versatility to it. I like the fact that it is a smart charging station, which is kind of something that I really haven't seen before. I think that this one's kind of cool. It's firmware updatable, and it gives me tons of control with the app. So I'm happy to have this one. So if you want to check this one out, down in the link below, and you enjoyed the review, please let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a like to help boost us up in the algorithm that's happening with YouTube, because it really does help this video in the ranks. And have a good day, guys. I really appreciate you watching and subscribing on the channel. I will always bring you what's new on the channel, and we have more new stuff coming up this week, new quads, cameras, and all the things on the channel. So please do subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.